Afternoon. This is my recommendation and review video for the film Mandy from 2018. I love Mandy. This is one of those films where if you like Mandy, I want recommendations from you. We're the same. I love this film. It came out in 2018. It stars Nicolas Cage and the excellent Andrea Riseborough and was directed by Panos Cosmatos. His father, George P. Cosmatos, made Rambo 2, or First Blood 2, I think it's called, and Cobra, as well as co directing the Western Tombstone. So, what is Mandy about? Lots of spoilers ahead for this one. Uh, so the setup is there's a guy called Red, and he lives with his girlfriend Mandy. He's a lumberjack, and they have an idyllic life where they watch TV, they eat together, and they have these languid chats about their childhood and their favorite planets. She has a part-time job in a shop, and she draws art and reads. So the life they have is perfect together, and they clearly love each other very much. But then what happened? Something happens to Mandy. There's a strange cult that lives nearby, and their leader takes this liking to Mandy, and he wants to get his hands on her. So he gets this strange cult of bikers to kidnap her and kill her in front of Red. The second half of the film is Red going to get revenge on the bikers and on the cult. So that's the setup. It's a revenge film. It's a very idiosyncratic one with a singular style. It's not fast. It's not for everyone. It's not a high octane film, and I'll get into that later. But what is good about Mandy? What's good about Mandy is the way it's shot. The colors are interesting. There's lots of long shots, trippy effects, beautiful skies. The other fantastic thing about this film that really stands out for me is the music, which was done by a sadly deceased composer called Johan Johansson. That's incredible music. It's one of my favorite soundtracks for any film, scores for any film. There's one track called the Mandy Love Theme in particular, which is this restful, sublime, expansive, peaceful, but slightly sad piece of music, which is the main theme for the film. It's very very beautiful. So if you get a chance, go on YouTube or buy the CD or download it and listen to the score of this film. It's great. The next thing that's good about Mandy is the acting. The Cage Rage fits perfectly into this, and then there's some supporting actors. Richard Brake, Andrea Riseborough, they're brilliant. Bill Duke shows up for a very commanding cameo. And Linus Roach is very good as this pathetic, covetous cult leader. And also, there's a lot of very satisfying violence in this. There's a chainsaw fight, deaths of gang members. I think the biker gang's called the Black Skulls. So the deaths of various Black Skull members and members of the cult, all brilliant. The film has this great dreamlike atmosphere. You can really get into it. What's bad about it? For me, nothing really. Some people will complain this is too long. It's not for everyone. The pace doesn't care about the viewing preferences of people who are generally fans of mainstream cinema. It has an unashamedly singular style for people who like specifically that. It plods along where it wants to because it's concerned with establishing mood and atmosphere. So it's like if you want an 80s horror B-movie revenge drama that was directed by Andrei Tarkovsky, that's close to what this is, I suppose. I have some thoughts about what the themes and the meaning of this film. So this film is my ideas about this are quite amateurish. I felt while I was watching it that Red and Mandy had a very natural life, living in nature. Their drug of choice was marijuana, plants. They work with wood. He's a lumberjack, and she likes drawing, so she works with paper. Whereas, they have conversations about the universe and about planets, um, about their childhood. They seem to live in harmony with nature, whereas the cult and the cult's accomplices, the Black Skulls, are not about nature. The cult worships a man, not the natural order of things, not birds and trees. So the cult worships a man and his follies. They're into chemicals, they're into LSD. So that's the rough division I saw in the characters in this film. Um, so by killing Mandy, I feel like, I think his name is Jeremiah Sands, the head of the cult. I felt that maybe the film was implying that he'd insulted nature, he'd insulted what was good, nature and love and things like that. And then Cage comes into their world to redress the balance. In the first part of the film, Cage is living in nature with his girlfriend, but then after she dies, he becomes something else. He becomes this stand-in for the world getting its revenge on these people. He was peaceful, but now he's raging the way they were raging. And he even takes their drugs and he comes into their world and he uses their drugs to power him and he kills them all. So I felt that Cage was a stand-in for the revenge of some sort of natural order itself. It's very amateurish, but those are some ideas that I had while I was watching it. If I watch it again, I might get different ideas. But why does this succeed for me? When I watch a thriller, what I want, a thriller, a revenge drama, a horror film in general, what I'm after is relatable characters. I want it to set up relatable characters, and I want them to go through a challenging situation, and then I want them to fail or prevail in a way that's satisfying. So this film, it has relatable characters. Their relationship is very simple. They have simple pleasures that we can all relate to. That's Red and Mandy. They love each other. That's something we can all relate to. And they're very down to earth, so they're good characters. Then they go through a challenging situation. Mandy doesn't survive, but Red is filled with anger and vengeance. That it's heartbreaking when she gets killed. It's horrible. It's a horrible scene. The drama of it's fantastic. It's well shot. It's trippy. So that part of the film succeeds for me. And then they fail or they prevail in a way that's satisfying. So Red really comes around. He kills everyone. It's very satisfying to watch. So it has all those components that I want in a thriller to give me a good, satisfying viewing experience. In terms of score, if you ask me what I'd give this out of 10, I would say 8.5. That's very high. On IMDb at the moment, it's got 6.5. There are people that don't like this film much. There are people that love it. I'm in the latter camp. I think it's great. I can't wait to see what this director makes next. He's got a new film coming out later this year. I'm very excited about that. On a side note, I showed this film to my dad, and I was surprised by how much he enjoyed it. He loved this film. Thought it was very different. Enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah, that's Mandy. Without reservation, I do recommend this film. If you like this video, you may not have, but if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much, and see you soon.